Okay, it's Monday. We're live. That's not the right color. There we go. Hope everybody's Monday is starting out well. We are back working on our Seahorse friend. And I didn't get around to cleaning my plate, unfortunately, so I'm a little miffed at myself over that. But it was a long week of not feeling well, so we had to do away with the camera for now. Because Bean kept knocking over the tripod that it was attached to. And the last time he bowed it slightly. So it's just becoming more trouble than it's worth at this point. So we're just gonna leave it down for now. Hope everybody's having a good day. It's supposed to rain here. We've been dodging showers all over the place. They haven't fully filled in yet. They're struggling. But oh my goodness, it's so much cooler today. So we are continuing on with this guy. We are painting with acrylics. My acrylics of choice are just the Crafty Paint acrylics. Sometimes that requires an extra coat or two. But I've also used regular artist paints from like the fine art section of the stores that have required multiple coats as well. And if I'm gonna have to do multiple coats, I'd rather go with a less expensive brand. And I just prefer the consistency of these a bit better. But, you know, use what you prefer. Got a little carried away in that spot. I may or may not need to clean that up with some white paint before we bring in our gold. I'm probably going to need to do one more pass on these sections just because they still seem slightly streaky and I'm trying to get the streakiness out of it. I mean, if you prefer the streaky, if you like that look, then that's fine. You handle it however makes you happy. And that's all there is to it. So this is one of the sections that we didn't get to do the second pass on last week. Okay. So I know school is back in full swing here. And the university had their move-in day already. Okay, I'm going to switch brushes here. Sorry, I was debating what brush I wanted to grab next. All right. I'm gonna slide this guy over. You know what? I'm gonna flip him. Just so I'm not putting my hands in wet paint. I do apologize if my head dips in to the shot. My poor scruffy paintbrush. Dogs are all settled in for a nap. Man, Susie was on a mission this morning when we were at the park. He was booking it. Until it came time to head back towards the car. Then he started dragging his feet. And Selfless started trying to eat grass like crazy because she hadn't had breakfast yet. We figured out that it's because she's hungry thing. When she does it at that time of the day. So this will be a little streaky on this first pass, and that's fine. We've come to know that's how this color or this paint's first pass tends to work. Sorry, my keyboard tray keeps creaking. It's driving me crazy. I think it's slightly off center. That's why it keeps doing that. we didn't attach it before we put the desk together because we weren't sure where it needed to be. So we were trying to line it up while it was above our heads, and that's never a fun task. You can definitely tell school's back in session because traffic is a little bit lighter around the time that we are heading for the park. Okay. What?
He's sniffing out my coffee cup.
Oh, I didn't know he was on your desk. He was mad this morning. I was trying to get dinner started because I was making spaghetti sauce. Red sauce, if you will. And, he was screaming from the other room. So I was like, yeah, I'll get to you in a minute. And then I had to let him out. But then he was getting into trouble and I couldn't keep an eye on him. And the husband didn't know he was loose because the husband was at the store. And I'm like, oh. And then he kept playing around the door. I'm like, okay, fine. You need to go back in the other room just for a few minutes. Just until Mr. Man gets back. Just for a little while. And then he was really screaming and trying to rip the door open. I was like, oh my god. My little man. So then I had to go in there and sit with him for a few minutes. Then he was attacking my leg and my shoes that were on my feet, and then my ankles. It's like, oh my goodness, boy. So then I had to go back out and deal with the food on the stove, so I brought him back out with me that time. And then like 5 minutes later, my husband pulled into the driveway and I'm like, shoot, where's the cat? So I was trying to get me fed. Hi, 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 hi. Where are you? Littles, go somewhere. Don't attack him, Mr. Bean. She's gonna beat the shit out of him. She does not like other cats. At the very least, she doesn't like other male cats. I don't know how she feels about other females, because she's the only female we've got right now. But she would very much not care one bit if she was the only cat in this house. The only one that she really seems to tolerate to any degree is Cow, which is surprising. But I also think she's beat him up a couple of times, too. He doesn't hang around in her presence very often. And she certainly doesn't let anybody cuddle with her. She definitely has strong opinions. That much is for certain. So I didn't really get any editing done yesterday. I didn't have time. But we should be able to get some done today. Like tonight after dinner, I'm hoping. Kind of depends on how much dishes I have to do. Because I didn't have time to do dishes last night after dinner. But you know, we'll see. I'm on video 14 currently of 180 of varying lengths. So we'll see. The most tedious part was when I was editing the underpainting for it, for the tissue paper project. Because I had so many little cuts I was doing in there. But there's a couple points where the camera falls. And I came across one of them and I was trying to figure out how the heck I was going to edit that. I almost left it in just to see who was paying attention. But I didn't want to do that to some people that get motion sick because it was a little dizzy. Hi, Mr. Man. No, little man. Hi, you're stepping in wet paint, buddy. Hi. No, paintbrushes are not toys. Thank you. Where's your brown puppy? Where's your little stuffed brown puppy? Last time I saw it, it was on the floor there. Where's your box of toys? We have a box of, like, paper towel, toilet paper rolls, and all that good stuff that he loves chasing after. We've got a dog toy in there that he loves shredding with his back feet. Or trying to shred. You know what? We need a different brush now. We're getting a little bit smaller. He's all like, nobody wants to play with me right now. We should put some food in that bird feeder, if we have any. At the window. To give him something to look at. Because he seemed to enjoy going after the cat TV I had on my Kindle. Oh, excuse me. Oh, allergies have been off the charts the past few days. Okay. So we're almost done past one on this section. So then we'll go back and do the second pass on those ones that we just did. But we're also quite a ways from being done. On this guy. So I did use a stencil for the base design, but we have modified it quite a bit. I enlarged it. I connected all of the breaks that were in the stencil, the little openings and everything. And one second. Sorry, my mom needed something. Alright. This little section in here, because we still have to do the lighter body color. I need to do some veining in a couple of spots. And then we have to do the eye and the gold. And we need to do the background, and we need to do our seaweed. I might do the seaweed before the background. He's gonna be so mad.
I'll let him back.
Okay, so there's that section. So this section should be dry enough for me to be sticking my hands into now. Alright. So it might be a little difficult to see the second pass coming in. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Like, I can kind of see where it's coming in. A little bit here. So we had fun in Fallout last night, but we also remembered what it's like questing with a group in Fallout. Where, yeah, you can play with your friends, but trying to get anything quest done is so difficult. Because you can go in to help the group leader with their quest, but it doesn't advance your quest, even if you're on the same quest. So we're like having to do things as an individual, but as a group, and it was quite stupid at times trying to get through that. So I think next week we'll just try to see if there's any challenges that we can do, or we're just gonna like traipse across the countryside collecting stuff. And just going after mobs as we come across them. We are gonna need a bit more paint here. Well, I seem to be out on my plate. Alright, so we'll do a maintenance rinse while we're at it, I suppose. So we're currently using Peacock Teal. Isn't that a good shaky shake? And I'm not putting much out on the plate because I don't want it to dry and get weird before we use all of it. Alright, we're gonna have to flip this guy back around. Show my hands not in the wet paint. Okay. Now I know I'm using a small guy here. You can use whatever size brush you've got that will do the job. It's just we're gonna get to smaller and smaller sections now with this second pass, so I might as well just stay with this guy. I've got fuzzes on my plate. That's the one bad thing about this plate. Is that like every bit of fuzz around here just seems to cling to it at times. I kind of wanted to make my own palette, but and I probably could just with some air dry clay. But my only problem with that is that when it comes to sealing it, most people I've seen have been sealing it with resin, and I don't want to mess with resin. I don't really have the area to work with resin with the proper ventilation that's fluff and fuzz and dust free, where the where the animals can't get into it. And I've heard that the fumes can be really dangerous for cats. So we're just gonna leave that alone. We can skip that adventure. Because it's probably going to be cheaper for me to just buy one in the end. Have my eye. Excuse me. What did I get for taking allergy medicine? And then sneezing my head off. So I took it too close to the start of stream. I have my eye on some egg plates, like deviled egg serving plates. On Amazon that would work fairly well for gouache. I definitely want those because then those can be my gouache plates and then I won't have to rinse the gouache off of them. Okay. Still doesn't look like it started to rain yet. We need the rain. Oklahoma's hogging all the rain right now. And just to the south is getting some rain of us. Our little grass yard area needs some rain. Everything's all turning brown and crunchy. Kind of looks like the end of October outside instead of the end of August. Okay. Almost there. Hold on. I need a cough drop. This is driving me crazy. Tomorrow we're going to be needle felting. We'll be back to working on our needle felted version. Sorry about that. We will be back to working on our needle felted view from a canoe. Needle felted version. Okay. Oh, no, let's go over there. And get this rinsed really good because there was still some paint in there. Okay. So, next up, we are going to be working on these sections in here. So, did you stir the stuff?
Yeah, I've been stirring stuff.
Well, no, I didn't know if you went to stir the stuff when you went to release the cat. Alright, where do I want to put this? Where do I want to put this? Put that there. So this is crystal blue. Alright, so gonna start up here. Now I might have to outline some of this with a toothpick. Although if I use a spray sealer, I might be able to use the pen for a good deal of it. Look here, Mr. Fly, go away. Where did you even come from? So I might come back in with the, oh no, I was gonna say I might come back in with the kneaded eraser. But I need some of these pencil lines still. So make sure I don't remove the wrong ones. So I don't know if I'm going to need to bring the white paint in. I know we did on the fish. And that was also partially to keep me from having to do quite so many coats. On the gold. Because it's a little transparent. As most of the glittery iridescent ones I've used tend to be. Oh, these allergies just won't take a rest for a minute. Fuzzy. Probably courtesy of Mr. Bean. More than likely. I blow my nose, but there's nothing there to blow. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, we'll see if that helps. It's probably not. Seems to be one of those days where everything's gonna fight with me. Okay. So, get this section filled in here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back in and do a round 2 on everybody. Because even though this is a lighter color, I have missed a couple spots. It would seem. One of the downsides of the smaller brush here is that it doesn't hold as much paint as I would like it to. So I think I'm getting like every drop of paint out of the brush, but it's joke's on me because it's skipping spots. Okay. I swear it seems like the sun's fighting to try to come out. Where's our rain? We had a couple thunderstorms go through sometime last week, but they didn't dump that much rain. Not to make up for how unrelenting hot it's been. Like, it's definitely struggling. I'll do a maintenance rinse here. Okay. So I'm just gonna start in with coat number 2. Up in here. Now, I was originally thinking maybe we would do some veining through these sections. I wasn't sure if I wanted to alternate the opposite fin color. For the veins, or if it should all be one color. I'm kind of now thinking that if I alternate the colors, it might be a little too busy. So if we go with one color, it's going to have to be our super dark guy. And I think that can still work. I think we've still got enough going for us here. Where that can work out. I mean, it might be a little hard to see on the darker sections. Like that medium range. But you can see how that's gonna look here. Like there's... Did I get it? I don't think I did. Was it ever there to begin with? Or did I just imagine it? I don't know now. It looked like there was a fuzzy in there. So either I painted over it and it's now really embedded in there, or it was just a line in the paint from the bristles, and there never was a fuzzy. Both are equally possible options. Okay. Second pass so far is looking good. Up in this section. Okay, so we've got one more section right here that is going to need its second pass. I'm just looking for the sections that are shiny and not shiny so I can see where I'm leaving off. This angle, it's a little hard to see. With the way the light's glaring off of the wet paint. Okay. And these darker blocks, these little darker shapes in here, I'm going to do one more pass on those when we get around to it. Probably when I go to do the veining. because I'll need that color for that anyhow. I'm not going to do the veining pass just yet. I really want to, but at the same time, I'm going to have two colors in play, and I'm going to be making a mess on this plate here. So I would rather have the plate have a little more real estate on it to work with. So I'm going to have to water a little bit of this down, thin it down for both colors. You know what? I just loaded that up, but I'm ready to rinse that. Let's dry that guy off. Okay. So, next bit here, we flip this guy around. And I'm going to start to work on our tum-tums. That way my hand is not going to sit in anything that's possibly still wet. I saw you, Mr. Fuzz. Trying to be all sneaky. Alright. Next up, gonna be this guy in here. Alright, so this guy. This guy originally had a different pathway to him. Dang it. I just keep messing up this block. So I may or may not need to bring in the white to touch up a couple of spots here because I messed up somebody over here somewhere, I think. Just my brush got a little carried away. And I definitely got carried away in there. That's okay. We're far from done. We can fix it. It's fine. So we'll fill in this little guy. Alright. Now while that is... Oh, we've got this guy too. I almost missed this little guy. That wouldn't have been good. Alright, let's get this guy worked into there. We need some more of this paint here soon. Okay. That might be... Oh, no, I think I got enough. So get this little guy here. Okay. So, let me go ahead and we'll do a rinsey rinse. It's starting to come together a bit. Oh, it's officially a stream. It's officially a live stream. Here, let me take care of that just real super quick. I feel like I've got... Oh, I do. Okay, that's why. And I feel like I've got smudgies on my glasses, certain ways I'm looking through them. That would be because we do. It's always the same website, too, that they're trying to post these ads for. I mean, come on, change it up a little. Or is this the only website that's doing it? That still keeps trying to advertise. In people's channels. That one lens is still being a little fussy. Alright. Like, I like my drill mounted lenses. Then I don't have the weight of the frame sitting on my face, but at the same time, they're so hard to keep clean. At least this particular pair around the drill mounts. They're always so smudgy and built uppy and alright, so I'm gonna come back in with some more. Where did he go anyway?
Who?
The baby.
Oh.
I haven't seen him since you
I saw him a couple minutes ago, so.
let him back out. Alright, so we're gonna come back in with pass number 2 here. Now, did you want shells or penne tonight?
Shells. Okay.
Am I doing cheese or no cheese?
Probably no cheese.
Okay. Alright, so just getting our second pass put in here on our stomach. Now, our stencil didn't have our little lines on it for our little golden veins going up to our spokes. That was something I added. And the stencil was like this big, so we enlarged it quite a bit. Did that by drawing out the stencil, tracing around it, and its little cutouts. And then scanning that in. And then the husband had a computer program. 1 second. Okay. husband in a computer program, I can't remember the name of it, that he used to enlarge it. I don't know, it was something free that he came across. And then we printed it out. And then I taped it all back together. And took some pencil and colored on the back of it where all the lines were. I did have to darken up the lines that I wanted transferred with a Sharpie on the front, so it bled through to the back of the printer paper so I could see where I needed to be, because the only way I could get it to be somewhat legible when I scanned it was doing it in grayscale. And then we have a laser printer. So I'm not even sure how much toner we have left. It feels like we haven't got toner in forever. Because we don't do that much printing. So it was extra light in some spots. So I had to get in there with a Sharpie and just darken it up a little bit. But that was okay. That was the easiest part of the whole thing. Okay. Do I want to keep going on this side, or do I want to flip back around? I don't know. I guess we'll just, well, then my hand's gonna be in the way, so. So we'll flip it around. And I started in the wrong spot, so now my hand's gonna be definitely in wet paint. But I'm already here, so I might as well keep going. Oh, now I could go with a slightly bigger brush in here. I could, but this guy's been working out okay for us. Could go with a flat, I guess, but I just don't feel like changing brushes at this very moment. I'm not sure if I have the right sized flat pulled out. And I just didn't feel like going hunting for another guy right now. Because that might require me to go into the brush box. And that could take a few minutes, so to dig through there. Okay. And we'll have to do a second pass on these guys as well. For sure. Okay. Yeah, I probably should have switched, but coverage on this brush isn't so bad. Like, it's behaving for the most part. It hasn't been too terribly splotchy as far as I can tell. Might have finally started to drizzle. The road looks a little damp out there. What's the matter, Zuzu? He might be. He was trying to steal Snuffle's breakfast, even though he didn't want his own.
Look like your hat.
Snuffles is just chilling. Alright, so yeah, we definitely need this tiny guy in here. That's a That's some tight quarters right there. For sure. All right. Alright, so I want to... Yeah, I guess we'll stay over here for right now. So did you turn it off yet, or are you still stirring? Hey.
Hmm?
Did you turn it off yet, or are you
Yeah.
still... Okay. Did you start the cooldown timer?
Yeah.
Just kind of using that to get some of the extra built up paint. Put down there. Good thing about this stuff is that it tends to dry fairly quickly. But that's both a good thing and a bad thing. Like, it's good when I need to be putting my hand in there because I didn't work in the right direction. It's bad because it's drying quickly on the plate too. Okay. So where did we leave off with coat number... Okay, so that's one, that's coat one. Alright, so here, down. Okay, I didn't get this section yet. Okay. So we're not doing too terribly bad here. But I'm also not really in a huge rush either. When this one gets done, it gets done. The background's probably going to be the most tedious part of this. Just because I've got so many nooks and crannies to paint around. There he is! I know those thundery feet anywhere. Mr. Bean has rejoined the chat. Maybe it didn't start to rain. I don't know, the road looked a little darker. But it's definitely not wet enough to traffic to be splashing. Let's take a look. Oh, he's filling in pretty good. Hadn't really sat back and gotten a good look at him. Seriously? This shit's gotta stop. We have... Hi, Mr. Bean! Let's not... Hi. Hi. There's a report of an incident going on at the Mullins Library at the University of Arkansas. Apparently. Hi, Mr. Bean. Don't drink my paint water, okay? No, we're not gonna spill the paint water either. That's my iced teacup. Hi, Mr. Bean. Hi. Mr. Bean wants to be an artist. No, you can't have my paint plate. I'm out of hands. Hi. No, no, that's you, Mr. Bean. That's you on camera. Yeah. That's you. Oh my goodness gracious. My guy, you can't chew on that. I've got to cut those zip tie tails off of there. Where's your box of toys? When was that? That was 20 minutes ago. And there's no update since. Hopefully it was not a thing. Well, it should be raining now. Hopefully it was misinformation and that everybody is safe. Mr. Bean, your box of toys over there is so lonely. I'm gonna get rid of that box soon if you don't play with it. You used to love that box. And all of its fantastic goodies inside of it. He's getting so big. Alright, so I think that I want to start quote number 2. I swear, one of these days we're gonna get some either watercolor paper or I do have, I don't know if I still have that actually. I did have canvas sheets, but I don't know if I still have them. I wasn't. Oh yeah, it's definitely raining now. Wasn't a huge fan of how they tore out of the book. That they came in. That doesn't look like something I did, because that doesn't seem to want to come off. What is that? What shadow is that? What is... There's nothing. Oh, it's that. Okay. Like, what on earth am I looking at here? Let's see. I'm not seeing anything. Interesting. And if this channel... Yeah, that channel's not... Alright, so I guess we'll have to wait for any slow updates to come in. Well, that's concerning. Hopefully it was just a drill. Maybe somebody that's new on campus saw security or something and didn't realize that they were, in fact, security. Hopefully it's a false alarm. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Okay. But so far I think we're doing all right here. Gotten the second pass done on a few things. First and second pass done on a couple of other things. I don't want to get too far ahead in first pass before I come back and do pass 2. I mean, some shades it's more obvious than others who didn't get their second coat. This shade's a little tricky at times. So, I mean, it's not like a second pass is really mandatory on this color. Nothing's really mandatory. Kind of also depends on how thick the color is going down. Okay. As we managed to get a little bit of yard work done. So now our house doesn't look quite so scruffle muffin. It's still a little scruffle muffin, but there's only so much we can do with that. But it doesn't look as unlived in now that we got some stuff trimmed back. All that good stuff. Okay. Get this filled in here. See what we can get happening. On this second coat, I'm gonna need some more paint here before we can continue with this color. So we're gonna do a maintenance rinse now. Tell ya, I'm feeling the weather. My one knee is aching. That poor knee that I slammed into the ground when I fell. Back in what, March? March or April, somewhere around in there. Okay. Let's change how we are sitting. Do a little stretchy stretch. Do a little stretch break. Suzu. Suzu. Stop licking, buddy. Suzu. Hi, leave that foot alone, okay? You need that foot. Oh. Okay. And I don't know if people are just on an unfollow spree lately. Or if Twitch is unsubscribing people. YouTube has a habit of that, where you'll just suddenly be unsubscribed from the channel. Alright, so we got a little more of this paint going here. Okay, so I think I'm gonna get these outer fins next. I think that's the direction that I want to now move in. Gosh, I've got so many layers of paint starting to build up in certain spots on the plate. That's okay though. Our supervising artist, Bean, Mr. Baines, has decided to check back in later, I guess. Because he has wandered away. or he found something much more interesting. To entertain himself with. We tried leaving Cal out of the kitty condo, and Mr. Bean beelined right for him and wouldn't take a step back. So we're like, okay. He does try to play his version of playing with Ed and Peabody, but they're not having it. Oh, excuse me. Damn it. I just stopped coughing. Now we're gonna have to go through this again. But Ed and Peabody are like, nope. You play too rough for us. There we go. And this is with the allergy medicine. That's what's the most frustrating part about it. Alright, so these guys will need their second coat as well. But we'll get there. We'll definitely get there. I still haven't updated the story. They're just telling people to avoid the area. Apparently this library is in the heart of the campus, near the student union. Let's just hope it's a false alarm. I mean, it's not great that people are reporting hoaxes or false alarms, but at the end of the day, it's almost better if it was. Because at least then nobody's gotten hurt, right? Didn't say the whole campus was on lockdown either. It just said to avoid the area. Didn't look like it was a shelter-in-place order. So that's kind of interesting. And that's a choice. So does that mean kids are still switching classes and all that? I don't know. Okay. So those spots. Well, I mean, I guess we could. I guess we could get the second pass in here. Okay. Oh yeah, it's definitely raining now. I can hear the traffic going by. Hear the spray they're kicking up. They did take the storms away from Friday. Which I did find somewhat fascinating. And I don't remember if they took it away from Thursday too, and maybe moved the thunderstorms to Wednesday. I don't know. We'll have to look again. It's probably going to change again. And even then, our weather forecasts here have not been very accurate as of late. All right. So let's try to get in pass number 2 here. And I know I'm going to be doing the veining on this section, but I just didn't want it to be splotchy. Because that would have bothered me. All right. Okay. Let me rinse my brush because it's getting a little gunky. And we will flip this guy around And we'll start working on the tail area, getting that light color popped on it. Okay, so let's see. Yep, okay, those are dry. I can sit my plate on into there. I'll definitely need more of this color shortly. But I will use what we've got available to us at the moment. I don't want to waste any of it. So hopefully everybody's day is going well. We can hope, right? Oh my goodness, Snuffles. Everybody's having the allergies today. She's being extra snuffly. Pretty sure my plant's officially dead. And I am sad. I had been doing so good with it. I'm not sure if it just got too hot for it. Or maybe it wasn't getting quite enough light. It seemed to be doing okay until we flipped the desk around. I would have put it somewhere else on the desk, but then P-Butt would have noticed it. So even though the temptation is there to get another one, I probably shouldn't. Because between P-Butt and Bean, it probably wouldn't stand a chance, but I also don't know how long Bean is going to be with us yet. That I don't know. Needed to get a little bit more of our crystal blue color here. Because that latest bit of it, what was left there, is all dried up. I will say I do like this brand better than the Anita's. I'm not sure if Folk Art is the better brand though. Because the only ones in Folk Art that I've really used is that gold color. And you know, Liquitex is Liquitex. It's okay. It's a little shiny. That's what I'm using for the background if the tube hasn't dried up yet, because I've got a lot of it that I need to, or want to, rather use up. But that one dries a bit shiny. It won't, I don't think it'll matter as much once we get the sealer put into place, hopefully. I mean, I guess we'll see. Okay. Get this. So everybody got their second coat up to here. This is a first coat. Now, if it's not storming by the time we get done here, as long as there's no lightning in the area, I'm probably going to try to wash this plate today so I don't forget that I need it clean for next week. I mean, it's actually possible that I might end up doing what I wanted to do today and just work over here. Now, he's not looking half bad on the screen. But, I mean, it depends. It is 117 for me. We're going to try to go till, or at least close to 3. So we still have some time, but I still have to do second passes. In these sections. Okay. It's coming along. It's coming along. I'm hoping that the black on the background will really make this guy pop. But we will see, I suppose. Still not quite sure how I'm gonna handle the seaweed. I pulled out a couple different shades of green, but I also have that color shift. So I'm not sure what I want to do. Maybe I can do a wash of the color shift over top of the other shades. At least it's not like torrential downpouring. Just seems to be a steady soaking rain at the moment. at least I haven't noticed it raining hard enough where I can see it raining. So it's pretty light rain. Okay. We're getting there. I am going to need more of this out, but I'm only putting it down on the plates in small amounts. So it doesn't dry too quickly on me. Like, we can always put more out. That's not a problem. I think to our south down near Fort Smith, they were having some thunderstorms earlier. So far, we haven't had any of that. And it doesn't really look like anything's going to be severe today. So that's good. That's always a plus. We haven't started severe season number 2 yet. It seems to start more towards I don't know, maybe the middle of November. Beginning of November. And seems to run through, well, maybe the end of October. Technically. Seems to run through part of December. So we did have that tornado go through town on Halloween. Last year in the early, I don't know if it was technically still the day before Halloween. Halloween morning, shall we say? Like midnight, 1 a.m. That caused some damage. We didn't have any damage, I don't think. We might have had some tree branches down, but it didn't go over our house. There was a bit of roof damage that was taking quite a while to get repaired. I don't think it got fully repaired till I don't know, April? It seemed to take a long time on the apartment buildings. I don't know if they were waiting for insurance payments or what. But we've had a few near misses here lately with our property. So it's always a little nerve-wracking. Like the most recent one ended up being 2. It like split into 2 circulations. They went just south of our area. Like our house. Okay, so that got its second coat. Yeah. And those guys got theirs. Alright. You know what? Let me rinse this because this is getting kind of built up there. I think it's been a minute. We have to get our second coat done before Supervisor Bean comes in. Although I haven't seen him in a while. He might be chilling with the guinea pigs on top of their cage. Okay. So I'm gonna hit this edge. And I'm gonna kind of work my way back down in here. Just a little bit easier for me to do it that way. Doesn't really matter how your second coat goes in as long as it covers all of the stuff that you're needing it to cover. could stop like pressing on this keyboard tray. That would be super great and awesome. I can kind of see what I've touched on this by what's shiny. Where the wet paint is. So I won't need to do a whole lot of veining. I'm only going to do it on the little thinny parts. There's a couple spots on the head I want to do it on. And then there's those wings on the back. Wings, fins. Same difference, right? It's the same difference. Alright, we got ads starting shortly. Yes, but has the story been updated? Okay, so they have no confirmation of anything, but they're clearing the area, so it was probably a false alarm. I'm not sure who sent the message. Right, at least it seems as though everything at the moment appears to be okay. So that's good. I mean, this area's gotten enough publicity after the double homicide in Devil's Den. We don't need any more. We don't need any more people descending upon this area for anything. Especially with the fair and stuff coming the end of the week. And everybody getting ready for that. Though I did see that they were making sure that the parents knew, because I guess in years past parents didn't know and sent their kids to school the Tuesday after Labor Day, making sure that everybody knew there was no school in our town the day after Labor Day, that Tuesday, no school. And I actually think it's because there's so many kids in the school that participate in the square dance competition, and the last night of competition, the one year there was so many teams that they were still there at like 10:30. Finishing up dancing. They shortened the dance times by like a minute and some change this year. I don't know if that's because the number of teams and they're trying to make things move along a little more efficiently or what. That I don't know. Okay, we are just working on second coat here on our light aqua colored segments. I need a little bit more of this color. All right. Okay. We need a small fresh puddle. That might be enough. If it's not, I'll just grab some more. Now this one wasn't so streaky. I missed spots. It's a little splotchy. Just how I ended up putting it on. Where it just really, it just looks better with that second coat on there. When we're doing stuff like this. Like if we're working on something where the base color is gonna shine through and the top colors aren't gonna cover it up very well, then it's just better to do that secondary sweep here. I know it's a little time consuming, but if we're gonna need it in the end to really make things look right, then we just need to do it. And just accept the fact that we need to do it. I can see some of the paint still on here from our flamingo guy, so I'm accumulating paint buildup again. It doesn't like to just peel up as easily off the plate. Some of the thicker bits that got left behind will peel up easier than others, but if I just soak it in some water for like 10 minutes, if that, it should just like slide off. Usually there'll be some stubborn spots here and there, but like a toothpick, little scrape, it should come off without too much trouble. I mean, I even got paint marker that was stuck on here. That might be the remnants of the paint marker that had ended up on the plate at one point. Alright. I don't usually let the paint get too built up on the plate, because sometimes when I start layering puddles of paint on here, the bottom layers start to lift up off the plate because of the liquid and the fresher bits going in on top of it. So I usually just drop it in a clean spot, but didn't have that luxury today. Alright, so I'm going to clean this. Don't forget to leave me enough for tonight.
Yep.
I think there's 8 meatballs in there.
Okay.
It's either 6 or 8. Okay, so let me put that one over there. Pretty good. Alright, let's see. Who's wet? You are. If I stay over here, I should be okay. Alright, so I'm going... Actually, I'm going to need all 3 of these colors in play, potentially. Alright, let's start with the peacock teal. And then we're gonna get tropical blue. I'm gonna give them really good shakes. Remember, I don't need a whole lot. Okay. So I'm gonna wet my brush here. And just gonna get a little watery puddle. Of the peacock. Doesn't have to be terribly watery. And I'm going to take that liner brush that I've got. That's the scratchy one that I'm not a huge fan of. I'm going to lay that in there. I'm going to grab a tissue. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to rinse that. And I'm going to do another puddle. Of my tropical blue. Hopefully without them touching each other. Okay. And I'm just gonna kinda it doesn't have to be that watered down. It'd probably be better if it wasn't, actually. I'm gonna tap most of it off. Like just enough water on there. Just to be able to get it to blend up and off. Just so it's not like terribly thick. That section is pretty wet in there, so I might need to have that dark blue or dark teal a little bit drier. Just to make this a little bit easier. So it's going to be a little bit hard to see that veining on this color at this very moment. Just needed just a smattering. Smackerel. A tiny bit. Although we might need it to not be. Like, it looks like it's going to be a very tight balancing act. So it's liquidy enough to come off. The brush here. I was originally thinking, yeah, let's have them both a little watery, but I don't want it. I want it to blend a tiny bit, but I don't want it to completely blend away. It's where it starts to become its own color here. Oh, it looks like the sun's trying to come out again. So it's a little tough to see it on the darker sections. Or at least it is for me. I mean, I can kind of see it, but the camera's struggling to find it though. Alright, so I'm gonna mix up some more watery peacock here. And we'll get that laid in there. Like to help it blend but not blend because it's going to be starting to dry already. When I come back in. With my other color here. Like I kind of just want my brush. I had a little water drop there. I don't want to drop that. That'll cause some problems. Like that I don't want. But like I don't want to completely lose that undercolor. I want to save that. And it'll be a little bit more visible on the lighter aqua color or crystal blue color. Alright. I've got a few more of these bands here. Of the peacock. Not too many. But there are a couple. Oh, the temptation to grab that pearl and streak some of it in on these fins is so great. But I don't know if that'll be like overkill. Probably will. I'm trying not to get too carried away. If I can help it. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little more quiet when I'm doing this part. I'm trying to concentrate. Sometimes it works better than others. Alright, so I think we've got one more with the peacocky color. Alright, so we'll get this one. Like, I'm liking it on these dark sections. Am I gonna hate it on the lighter one? I don't know. Guess we'll find out. My ankle got stuck. At least it felt like it got stuck. Okay. Let's see how this is gonna go into this last section on the head. See, it's kind of bleeding out a little bit because of the wetter base coat that I just put down, and I'm okay with that. I think it kind of gives it room to do its own thing. And it kind of, well, I think it kind of helps each section be a little more unique. Just a little bit. Kind of hard to pick it up. Oh, or for the camera to pick it up. Right there. Alright. So I'm gonna rinse that. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this that hasn't been watered down yet. And this one feels a little sticky, kind of like the dragon fruit one did. Like more like a gel than the other paints. It's hard to describe. But the consistency on this one feels a little different. Okay. These ones were just slightly weird in how they dried. Okay. So let me rinse that. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab a fresh bit of our crystal blue. And I'm gonna get that watered down a little bit. That probably needs a little bit more wateriness to it. Alright, so I'm just kind of doing a real quick. It's a little bit thicker than a wash, I guess. But not by a whole lot. Okay, I'm gonna rinse that. And I'm gonna get just like a little bit, just a little bit of water back into our tropical blue. Like, I don't want it real watery. It being super watery wasn't working. Okay. So, might add just one more drop. Just so it'll come off the brush a little bit better. Trying to hold it towards the end of the handle. Trying. So it doesn't have as much control, so it's a little bit more loosey goosey here. And I'm trying just to stay with the tip if I can. We'll see. You can kind of see that. Alright, that's part of the head, so we're going to skip that one. Or at least I'm doing that as part of the head. Okay. Like, it's okay if I go a little bit over the edge of our guy here. Because the background color will end up taking care of that. So any overage shouldn't be too much of a problem, and then that'll keep me from stopping short when I get near the edge of it, being afraid of going over. So I don't like get right up to the edge and just stop right before it. I don't know, it might be a little much, but we'll see. It's definitely making it pop a bit. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do kind of like that coming in there.
I'm gonna go put the kitten away. This cat's been in there a long time.
Okay, he'll have to come out right before you start game time, though.
Yeah, that's fine. I kind of figured.
Okay. Alright, I got a little carried away there and got into that other section. Okay, so let me rinse that. Okay. So like that undercolor is still a little wet. Right, so it's gonna blend a little bit. But that's okay. I wanted it to blend in some spots. Just to kind of help variate the colors there a little bit. Okay. So again, this little over spillage won't matter when I come back in. Okay. So I mean, that's not looking too bad. I think I like that a little bit better than just the solid color that we had in there before we started doing that. This really isn't the brush I wanted to do that with. So I should probably just get a different brush for that. I got distracted. Okay. And then these last two are the last bit for the head section. Like, they're not all gonna get this. Okay. It's still pretty wet there, so let me grab a little bit more. And I'm gonna hit up this last section because I don't want the whole thing to blend. I want it to just kind of blend in spots. Okay, let me rinse that. Okay. All right. Get that guy in there. I'm trying not to leave like too many gaps along the ribbing. Like I'm trying to get right up in there. Not too bad. Okay. I'm gonna get just a little bit more water because it went from like super wet to like super dry. In which case, then I did need this to be a little more wet. Alright, let's see what we can do with this side. Alright, it's kind of coming together. Kinda. We've still got a ways to go to bring it all together. I might do the more intricate parts in pen for the outlining. Now, we need to do this little set here. I'm gonna have to add a little bit more of this color down. In fact, I think I'm going to just preemptively. Alright, so this was our tropical blue. Alright, and I need, well, I don't know if I need a fresh puddle for this, but I don't want a fresh puddle for it. More so because when I start adding water to that one, it's going to scrape up all the other bits, and then we're going to have like chunkiness happening. Now, I probably could have gotten away with just, you know, putting a little bit of water down on top of it. But this is also gonna just help smooth out anything. And then, you know, the veining color might blend a little bit into it, which is fine. It's actually a little bit better if it does. Alright, so rinsey rinse. So this section, it's a little bit harder for me to see. A, because it's the medium, the dark on the medium. Turquoise, right? Teal, excuse me. And I've got the light glare with things being shiny. I'm gonna have to do some maneuvering here. All right, And then we'll get the spot next door here as best as we can. These ones are a little bit tighter, so it's going to be a little bit trickier. To get the veining worked in. Okay. There's only so much we can do in the dark sections anyway. Okay. Trying to be super careful not to get my hand in any place it shouldn't be. All right. Careful muffin our way along here. So since these sections are a little bit smaller, they are staying a little bit wetter. Okay. And we've got one more of this dark section here. Or the medium section, I guess. I will come back in. And fix these tropical blue sections. In just a minute. I probably should wait till I'm done the veining on those colors, like on the medium one, before I run back in there and start trying to fix the middle. Okay. Where was he when you went to put him back in the bedroom for a while? Hey,
Mm-hmm.
where was he when you went to put him back in the bedroom?
He was sitting on top of the guinea pig cage.
He is absolutely fascinated with them. Like, I wonder if he realizes that they're not other strange looking kittens. He gets so excited when they start making noises. Okay, so let me rinse that. And I'm gonna grab some of that not watered down. And I just want to fill in here. Like, this last fill-in bit doesn't have to be completely perfect. I'm just trying to even that out a little. Forgot I needed to do this one still. What time is it? Oh. We might go a few minutes over. I'm gonna try not to, but it might be unavoidable today. Oh, 1 second. All right. Get that. Who was it anyway?
Walmart.
We already picked up your pills, right?
Hmm?
You already picked up your pills, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna move on to our light aqua section here. A little bit easier to see this color. So the little back fin guys are probably going to be a little more blended than the ones on the head. And you know what? That's okay. Doesn't have to be identical to that section. Okay. A little bit more of this. All right, I'll get those last couple of... There's something in my eye. Like I could feel it. Didn't necessarily hurt, but I could feel it. And I was good till it started getting blurry. Okay. So I'll try to get this sort of pointed. Sometimes that works a little better than others. We're definitely not going for a realistic seahorse, that's for sure. If that hasn't been obvious up to this point. I've got one more light section here. Okay. Little bit of a rinse. Okay. Oh, got to the gold section. Oh well, I've done that a few times already. We'll have to figure out if I'm gonna need to bring the white paint out, or if I can get away without it. I mean, I probably can get away without it. It's just gonna require probably another coat. Like an extra coat of the gold. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to clean up the dark tealy sections that still needed a little bit of attention here. Okay, that looks pretty good there. The other side I'll have to clean up next week, I think. I think I kind of want to do the I don't know if I want to do the gold first and then deal with this. I might deal with these first before I come back and do the accents on this guy. It might be what next week's plan is, to do one last pass on this on this dark teal section, and then to start on our seaweed. And if we get done the seaweed, which I don't know if we will, but if we get done the seaweed, then we'll possibly look at starting the gold accents, perhaps, but we'll see. So thank you guys for popping in and checking things out today. I do appreciate that. Don't forget to follow the social links down below. Those will take you to the Ko-fi, the Blue Sky, and the YouTube accounts. Don't forget to subscribe over on the YouTube account. It's like follow here, it's free, and if you click the little bell icon over on the YouTube channel and then click all notifications, then you'll find out whenever I post anything over there. It defaults to personalized, so it doesn't give you all of the notifications. It might only give you one out of like a month, so make sure you go ahead and do that to stay in the loop, because not everything is a live stream archive over there. There are some stuff that I have exclusive to the YouTube channel right now. So I will be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow needle felting. That's fun and exciting. We'll be working on our view from a canoe needle felt. This guy, we pick him back up where we left off with our mountain range in the back here. and all that good stuff. So, hope to see everybody tomorrow for needle felt, and enjoy the rest of your evening.